The Clone Trooper Grand Army of the Republic is mobilizing quickly. Every legion is assembled on the beaches here, from the 212th Attack Battalion to the 501st Legion to the Nova Corps even. And from the boats comes every Space Marine Legion. From the Salamanders to the Blood Angels to the Soul Drinkers, every Space Marine Legion versus every Clone Trooper Legion in Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2. This is going to be a bloodbath. Comment down below who you think is gonna win this battle. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into this thing. Alright, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, getting right on into this thing, and the very front lines of the Star Wars army here is Jedi Knights, death charging forward against the boats, and we can see the boats are deploying their Space Marine units right now. So, the Space Marines are about 6 million strong, and we do have a lag spike here as there's going to be a lot of units spawning onto the battlefield. There we go. We're back to normal. 50 FPS from 1 FPS. Incredible. So the Space Marine units are 6 million strong. The Clone Wars Clone Trooper Army units are 1.8 million units strong. So roughly 3x the number of Space Marines compared to Clone Troopers. Now, the Space Marines, a vast majority of them are built up of Death Corps of Krieg units. Now, those guys are basically going to be acting as the meat shields for the greater army. But we do have some Imperial Fist swordsmen coming forward here against the Jedi Knights and just absolutely obliterating them while they're getting suppressive fire in from additional Blood Angels back here. We've also got some of these small walker tanks here that are coming forward, and they should be able to deal some serious damage, explosive damage, which will be important in taking out these Jedi. But over this way, we have some of those Death Corps of Krieg units, as well as some of the Space Wolves on the battlefield. Now, backing up those Jedi Knights in the very front lines is going to be a whole load of 2nd Airborne Troopers from the 212th Attack Battalion coming forward and trying to do some suppressive fire to assist these Jedi Knights. Now, the Jedi, oh, little lag spike here. Okay, we're good. The Jedi are coming all the way forward to the boats already. That is very gutsy, very ballsy stuff from the Jedi. I'm not sure if that's going to pay off for them, but hey, they can do whatever they want. This is their battle. Now, not all of the Clone Trooper units are going to be offensive, but we do have a few more offensive units on the battlefield, such as these guys over here, the 21st Nova Corps, aka the Galactic Marines, some of the hardest of hardened Clone Troopers. Commander Bakara basically said, hey, if you die, you weren't meant to be a Galactic Marine after all. So those guys are going to be coming forward and assisting the 2nd Airborne over here on the far left flank. Then on the far right flank, we will also have 41st Elite Corps Scout Troopers from Kashyyyk coming in. Another pretty massive lag spike here, waiting for it to pass. There we go. Okay. It's so weird that we go from like literally 0 FPS. Real quick, huge thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. They have literally the best deals in gaming. I use it all the time. If you like Star Wars games, Lego Star Wars for $2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 for $9. One of my favorite Star Wars games, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, $1.70. If you want to play the Star Wars Galaxy at War mod, Men of War Assault Squad 2, $3. Extremely popular games can be up to 99% off. Link in the description below. Thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get into the video. Where the frame just stops to 40 FPS. This game is truly broken. Over here, we have our 41st Elite Corps units coming on in. A little bit more lag right there, so I do apologize, but it has to do with the fire of this battle. If we were doing all melee units versus just one side being ranged units, that would be one thing, but it's ranged units versus mostly ranged units, and that can generate some serious lag in and of itself, and the computer has a little bit of trouble figuring that thing out. So we do have the 41st Elite Corps back there coming in to assist. Now, a lot of the 2nd Airborne has already been cleared out of this area, so there's not much to assist with, and we do have some Ultramarines also coming in here with the Blood Angels, with the Death Corps of Krieg units, so they'll probably drive these guys back pretty soon. There should also be Clone Commandos in the middle coming forward in attack formation. That would be, yes, these fellas here are coming forward. Clone Trooper commandos are moving in. Now, the actual defenders are going to be, there's some Coruscant Guard up there. There's some 501st Legion. There's some 332nd Legion. There's some ATTE walkers up there as well. So there's a lot of defenders up on the cliff walls, but we need to have a little bit more of a dynamic battle to start off here. Try to stop the Space Marines from even getting onto the beach, and it's actually working somewhat closer to the right side over here, where as you can see, the 2nd Airborne have actually made it to the water's edge, and on top of that, they've got a little curvature going here where they are stopping a lot of these Space Marines from coming on in. You can see the body piles are mounting up over this way. It's going to be a brutal battle, to say the least, throughout this thing. I'm just excited to be here for it, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 1.5 million remaining Clone Trooper Army units, 4.7 million remaining Space Marine units. That means the Space Marines got off to a pretty poor start. They only managed to kill, well, we're at 1.49 million Clone Wars units now. So they managed to kill about 300,000 troopers from the starting 1.8 million, and they themselves have lost about 1.3 million soldiers. I'm guessing a lot of those early Death Corps troopers that came charging forward, they're probably dead. That's probably the vast majority of them. But now a lot more Space Marines should be remaining, and that could be seriously helpful to them going forward. The Blood Angels charging up this way against Clone Commandos, as well as some of our 501st troopers. Over here, we should have some shiny clones, I believe. Yes, we do have shiny Phase 2 clone troopers over this way, guarding this canyon. Over here, behind them, we've got more 41st Elite Corps troopers backing them up. Over here, we should have some more ATTEs as well. Yes, that is where the ATTEs are situated. And these guys are behind the canyon walls because that way they'll be very instrumental in stopping the enemy from being able to just climb straight over. That explosive fire will hopefully be very effective. The Galactic Marines over here are actually doing a very nice job of slowing down a lot of these Space Marines coming forward this way. They're fairly scattered, which makes it a lot harder for them to be killed, and they're doing a pretty good job over this way. Over here, we should have our shock troopers. Yep, here we go. The Coruscant Guard shock troopers over this way, firing away as well. Quite a bit of distance firing from these guys. They're firing from super far away, and they're having the Galactic Marines go forward for them, so that is going to be probably pretty helpful in totality right there. Of course, on the beach itself over here, we've still got a very solid 2nd Airborne presence. I am pretty darn impressed by these guys chilling over this way. I doubt there's any... There are Jedi still alive, and look at this. They're just butchering these Death Corps of Krieg soldiers as they come forward out of the boats. I mean, I imagine once more Space Marines start coming through there, they'll start cooking a bit better, but also the Space Marines are sort of angling in their fire to have to deal with these guys. This is just all around pretty crazy. Let's actually go ahead and do our first time lapse here, watching the 2nd Airborne troopers getting shot up right here while they basically camp the spawn point. If you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. Let's do our first time lapse. Wow, that really only took a couple of minutes before these guys were finished off, and now the Space Marines are going to start pushing out towards those cliff walls out that way. With the Jedi and the 2nd Airborne gone, we only have 900,000 remaining Clone Trooper units. That is crazy, and we've got 4.3 million remaining Space Marine units. So Space Marines have lost about 1.7 million of their total soldiers. Meanwhile, the Clone Troopers have lost half of their total soldiers, which is not good. That's pretty major. That's about 2/3 versus 1/2. Yeah, or sorry, 1/3 versus 1/2. 2/3 remaining versus 1/2 remaining. Not great. Not fantastic. Oh, big lag spike here. Whoa. Uh-oh. Hopefully we can recover from this one. It seems to be... Uh-oh. We're in like full lag crackdown here. That's not great, but at least we can do some time lapses. Oh, I think I see the problem. There is just an explosive amount of fire over this way. So much so, we are getting 2 FPS. My God. Okay, that's a lot of clones over here fighting a lot of Space Marines, and it is just a glowing ball of fire. That is disgusting. Holy cow. Okay, I see why I am now getting 1 FPS. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Let's time-lapse this, because no one wants to watch 2 frames per second. Okay, the lag got like slightly better for a second there, and I thought we'd be good at like 13 FPS, but then, oh my god, can't even move anywhere. There's the 332nd Clone Troopers here with some ATTEs and commandos and regular troopers and things like that. There's a lot kind of mixed together right here. Yeah, the Firestorm got worse. The Firestorm is insane, and it does not seem to be going well for the Clone Troopers at all. 552,000 remaining clones, 4 million remaining Space Marines. The Space Marines are losing almost nothing while the clones are losing it all. But we have to hope that maybe they can kill off all the Space Marine units before the Death Corps, and then they'll just have Death Corps remaining and can maybe win that way. But let's watch the laggy Firestorm here. No lie, pressing record again for 2 seconds brought us back to 15 FPS. Oh! The Firestorm is... You guys saw it was good FPS for like 2 seconds. What is happening? Oh my god. Okay. Alright, it's laggy again. Cue the time lapse once more. Oh my goodness. Okay, things have gotten a little bit better. Not frames-wise. No, not frames-wise. But kills-wise for the clones. They are currently sitting at 420,000 soldiers remaining for the Clone Troopers and 3.6 million for the Space Marines. So it seems like more of the Space Marines are starting to die, which is great. Here is the Clone Trooper defense over here if we face this way. This is all they have left over here. I say this is all, it's like multiple ATTEs and plenty of troopers and things like that. The lag has not gotten much better since we've been time-lapsing, but that's okay. In fast speed, it should just look like normal, which is fun. So let's keep watching and see if the Clone Troopers can take away the W here. Oh my goodness, not to jinx it, but we're at 14 FPS now. Oh baby. And on top of that, we actually seem to be doing better for the Clone Troopers. They still have 358,000 soldiers left alive, and the Space Marines have 3.2 million. So Space Marines are about to be at half of their total force remaining, which is pretty good for the clones considering they were just losing expeditious amounts of troopers compared to the Space Marines for a while. Now the Space Marines are losing a huge amount, and the lag is getting better. I think really it's because a lot of the actual gunfire Space Marines are dead, and a lot of the Death Corps of Krieg troopers are what remain attacking these fortress walls here. So that is very, very good for the clones. We've got ATTEs over here with 332nd troopers below them and Galactic Marines counterattacking the Death Corps of Krieg troopers here. So if you're rooting for the clones, things are looking better, but still they have a 10-to-1 deficit now, which is way worse than the 3-to-1. However, hopefully most of the ranged Space Marines are dead if you're rooting for the clones. If you're rooting for the Space Marines, 10-to-1 is pretty great. So let's watch down here the ATTEs firing and the clones running out against the Death Corps of Krieg soldiers while the 332nd support fire behind. Okay, the clone troopers continue to tear it up and even things out here, which is great to see. They are currently resting at 286,000 soldiers remaining, so they really didn't lose a ton since the last check-in, and the enemy is at 2.2 million, so they're almost at a third remaining of their force. We can see the Death Corps of Krieg soldiers still coming forward over here. Oh, lag spike? No, we're good. We got the Galactic Marines over here, as well as some clone commandos still mulling about and firing from the beaches as they push on forward. Let's turn this way. Okay, we're safe. I was scared it was going to get really laggy again. Oh, no! Oh, we're good. Okay. Over here, though, we do still have actually quite a number of Space Marines coming forward, both Shield Marines and some Blood Angels with dual wielding, and some Ultramarines over here. I'm surprised we're not really seeing many Salamanders nor Space Wolves, or Soul Drinkers. All of those should be on the battlefield, but maybe they're already dead, or I'm not totally sure. Maybe they were on the right side and they kind of failed while these guys succeeded. Not totally sure. We're still getting kind of random lag spikes here and there. These Space Marines are coming in and cutting through sideways into the clone trooper lines over this way, which is not great, but you know, it's at least holding for the clones, and the ATTEs are there to try and stop it. Let's go ahead and do a bird's eye view of this happening right here, because there is still a very, very good chance the Space Marines can come back and win this thing. I'm very grateful we're getting 30 FPS again, but let's not jinx it, and let's go ahead and watch. The 10-to-1 curse has officially been broken for the clones. We are sitting at 191,000 clones remaining, 1.37 million Space Marines remaining. I think the Death Corps of Krieg soldiers are going to die out, and then we'll just have the strongest of the Space Marines remaining on the battlefield. Now, these Ultramarines are the strongest of the strong, so they really need to get eliminated here. I mean, they're going down bit by bit. It's just nothing crazy. Oh! Spike of the lag. We were doing so well. We were doing so well. What happened, guys? No, we're at 3 FPS. Why? All right. Well, either way, down on the beach over that way, we have ourselves the Galactic Marines still going ham. The Space Marines are cutting across the top cliffs still, but the Clone Troopers are still getting more and more kills and kind of making a comeback here after an initial deficit. Now that this lag is back, let's go back to time-lapsing. RIP. Alright, we are big time lagging right now. We are at 140,000 remaining clone troopers and 982,000 remaining Space Marines attacking them. So it seems like the big comeback is slowing down a little bit. The lag is absolutely crazy, so I won't play this for too long until we get it back to time-lapsing, but things are brutal for the clones. This is not good. They were making the comeback, now they're less so making the comeback. Let's see what happens. On the left are the Space Marines, on the right in that blob are the clone troopers. Oh my god, when you go from 3 FPS to 23 FPS, it looks like you're fast forwarding. Like, what? This is crazy. Alright, so for some reason, we're back to no lag. What is happening, bro? Space Marines still surrounding the clone trooper army here. The clones, oh, we're good. Still definitely on the defensive here. This is not a gimme at all for them. They're having trouble now. 856,000 Space Marines currently remain. 116,000 clone troopers currently remain. The one optimistic thing for the clone troopers is the fact that there's so many Death Corps of Krieg soldiers on the battlefield. That's going to make it a lot easier for them. You can see way off on the beach over this way. Why not just go over there while we're not laggy for the moment? We have a ton of these Galactic Marines still alive, and they're just cutting through a ton of these Death Corps of Krieg soldiers. resulting in a lot of kills for the clone army. Now they're getting cut at from back here with some Space Marine Blood Angels coming forward across them, but they can definitely deal with those guys as they come. And then the Shock Troopers over this way for the clones, the Coruscant Guards, are dealing with the bulk of the Space Marine army coming at them over here, which is good. It's a distraction for the Galactic Marines to wipe out more of those Death Corps troopers, but definitely the Space Marines are the main target here to win the battle for Star Wars. 98,000 remaining clone troopers and 740,000 remaining Space Marines now. It's getting close. It is down to the wire. Well, guys, it looks like the clones do end up losing to the Space Marines, but not before bloodying their nose pretty darn good. And of course, a lot of this is padded by Death Corps troopers here, so take this with what you will, but there are only 547,000 of them remaining, so they lost 5.5 million troopers compared to, oh, another lag spike, 1.8 million clone troopers. So pretty impressive showing by both, I must say. If you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. I do apologize for the lag in this video. It was good at some times and terrible at other times. It's just kind of the way Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 goes. Either way, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.